Hello, I'm Chris Pajak and you're watching Redmen TV, California.
Hey, welcome to Redmen TV. I'm here on a Mosa Beach in LA. I've got Keith Costigan here. I mean, I guess probably not as well known back in the UK and as you are over here working for Fox and what have you. But most importantly, mate, Liverpool fan?
Yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, I grew up in Dublin, so you know the links with even the ferry. I used to get the ferry across a lot, Dublin to Liverpool. But I was really young. I had an older brother. He told me when I was about 3 or 4, I support Liverpool. Who do you support? And I said Liverpool. Copied him with everything. And then he told me later on, I support Man United. And I said, well, I support Liverpool. So it was the first time I went against him.
Might there have been some fisticuffs that followed in the years?
I have to admit, I was a little bit of a crybaby back then, so he probably slapped me around a little bit. I was more cheeky than a fighter, if you know what I mean. So, but no, I mean, some of my first memories are, you know, Phil Neal in the European Cup final scoring, Rush I always remember Rush in the yellow kit at Villa Park scoring a hat-trick. And that Sunday there was a pull-out on the Sunday magazine, a poster of it, and that was one of the first posters on my wall. So I just always loved Liverpool. It was just, it's one of those things you can't explain. It just happened, and I was always going to be that way.
And you've been kind of fortunate because obviously you cover the FA Cup games as well. You still get to cover Liverpool games despite the fact that you're based over here.
Yeah, no, and last year I got to cover. You know, I have a great boss who's from back home, and I got to cover the Villarreal semi-final. Unfortunately, I was at the final as well. I covered that.
Yes, as were we.
I sat back down, and I still do not know what happened in those last 45 minutes. And I called
commentary on that one.
No. I called a lot of the Sevilla. I called most of the Liverpool games. I called the Sevilla games in the quarterfinal against Bilbao, where they scraped through, and it never occurred to me that this was going to affect my life later on down the road. But no, look, you know, I've always been a Liverpool fan. I'm blessed that I get to go back. I've interviewed, you know, the last managers going all the way back. I've had a great relationship with the club, and it's still, I work in this, but I'll never not be a fan, because it's what you live for. You want to see the results, you want to meet the players, and you want good times following your team.
Absolutely. Well, you mentioned the managers. Jurgen Klopp in charge now. We've had him for the vast majority of every year now. Yeah. First pre-season, first summer. What's your feeling to the pre-season so far? We've played a lot of games, a lot of players going out, a lot of players coming in. Are you happy with what's been done so far?
Yeah, I think you look at it and Jurgen Klopp's calling the shots. You look back to last year, look, Joe Allen I think is a very good player, but you could tell he wasn't Jurgen Klopp's player, because if he was, he would have started more than 8 games in the Premier League last year.
Do you agree with the fact that, you know, he looks like Stokes all done and dusted for him now?
I mean, I think it's a great move. It's weird, you want players to move on to clubs that you're not worried about. So you know if like all of it, because I remember once a few weeks ago reading about like Man United, and oh, hang on a minute,
whoa.
Why
do they want him?
He can go to Stoke, so you want him to go somewhere down that way. You don't want to hear about other big clubs interested, because you don't want to make that mistake. Jordan Ibe is because I go to the academy a lot. Alex Singlethorpe and Frankie Mack was a good friend before that. Sure. So Jordan, I was a little bit sad to see him go, but again, Klopp is a big manager, not afraid to make big decisions, and it's his show right now, and I think all the fans are behind him, and that wasn't the case with Brendan in the last year, unfortunately. But I'm excited. I think it's going to be a fun year, hopefully.
Yeah. Who are the signings that have come in most excite you?
Well, I cover Bundesliga. Klavan's a better defender than people are giving him credit for. Like, you know, I saw someone write, "Oh, here's another Kyriakos," and I was going, "Come on!" Like, Kyriakos was at 2 million. Deadline day, Rafa.
Fucking donkey of a centre half.
I mean, he was fun to watch sometimes, because he was just
hilarious.
And he attacked the ball so well on set piece, but he just couldn't defend to save his life.
Oh, Hodgson loved a little bit of throw Kyriakos up there in the last.
We had Kyriakos, we had Konchesky. Oh my God! But anyway,
bit of Poulsen.
Yeah, no, I actually like Wijnaldum, and I've. Maybe because you watch him against Liverpool last year and you see how dynamic he is as a midfielder, and he's totally different to the kind of midfielder we would have gone for under Rodgers, like a possession-based midfielder. This is a player who's going to get into the box, who's going to score goals, and I think the team has lacked goals in big games at times. So it's not just Sturridge drops in an awful lot as a forward, even though he's a pacey forward. He doesn't. So now when he drops in, you have someone like Wijnaldum who can get in beyond and be a goal-scoring threat from there. So I'm excited about that, and Mane is a player who, you know, last year United wanted him and everyone was going, okay, and now because he's not the big name, maybe people are like, well, we want a big name. Well, I think Klopp has a good track record of signing players who become big names because he signed them. So I'm excited.
He'll be rubbing the hands over that one. Just quickly back on Klavan then. So I mean, what do you think we can expect to see from him this season if he gets a game?
Yeah, I think he's a steady defender. Like he's comfortable on the ball. He's left-sided, which is good. But the games that I covered him last year, Augsburg were very organised defensively, and he's just a steady defender. So the price you get him from a league where he's played at a very high level. Bundesliga is such a top league, and it kind of like when Rafa came in, he went back and got Arbeloa, just say, and people are like, "What's Arbeloa?" Well, hang on, I know him. I know the league, so there we go. So kind of the same.
He also got Hosmi, to be fair.
Who was the other one? Kromkamp. He was
Nunes.
Anytime I see the pictures back then of the celebrations, you'll catch Hosmi in the corner or Kromkamp, and you're like, he played in the FA Cup final as well, Kromkamp. So we did sign some dodgy ones, but no, I mean, I've faith in the manager. I don't think he would sign a player who he didn't think would come in, and even the young players now that have come in over the last few weeks and done well. I'm excited to watch them develop as well.
Fantastic, Keith. Thank you very much for your time.
Cheers, pal.
Excellent, nice one, mate.